Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ASUS ROG DreamLeague Season 3. My name's ODPixel, I'm here with Draskell, and we're ready to get into the final game of the final series today. Flipside up against Game Online. Game 3, the draft is underway, so let's get ourselves into it.
All right, I'm ready. You didn't tell me that you were going to do that, though, so I don't know what you want from me anymore. All
right, what are we seeing, Draskell? So, Jug, Magnus.
You know what? Excalibur got owned by Jug last game, so he was like, screw this. First picking Juggernaut. Obviously, that's not what he actually said, but I like to think that's what goes on in people's heads, because then it's like, I get that, you know? Yeah. You get owned by a hero in a pub game, and you're like, man, I'm just going to pick that hero next game. Screw that guy for picking that hero.
It was, I mean, the Jug, Ace's Jug, it was pretty damn legit.
Yeah, but really what they're doing is they're adapting to a playstyle that we have seen basically Unknown use when they have Arise playing Mag, and they just have a melee core with Empower. And they're just going to abuse the fact that it lets you farm the map at a very accelerated rate. Now, in the last series, or last game, rather, Flipside, they took Juggernaut, but they also removed Axe from the pool because they realized how good Axe is against Juggernaut lineups. Now, Dazzle is also a hero who is great against Jug because of mass minus armor. You can't spin off Weave, even if you want to. And it's a hero who naturally pairs well with Axe just because you can lane aggressively with it. You can even do things like creep cutting and such if you're not against already strong supports. And guess what? One of the best heroes are at stopping Axe from cutting creeps? Dazzle. Because he can just heal the creep wave and the Axe gets crushed. So they're not going to have the opportunity to use that either. And Flipside just banning around their support picks right now, making sure they don't have to deal with any pesky counter push with an AA blast and the kind of team fight potential that could also spell for Game Online had they got their hands on it, and banning out the Zeus. So Game Online are just imitating basically Unknown right now. Like this is the exact things that they do.
Oh, absolutely. So I mean, so with Axe and Dazzle, we're going to expect potentially with that really to see this aggressive dual lane combination. Do you think they will just keep it as a dual lane, or are you imagining to see a third hero being added to the aggressive potential?
It's too early to tell. I mean, between the Juggernaut pick, we've seen no supports. We don't even know if the Mag's going to be mid. Like, could be off lane. It's like people would change their drafts so often in terms of what their idea is for the game that you might want to run a specific hero, so you pick those two heroes first because you think they're strong. Yeah. And then as the draft kind of proceeds, you just start changing your mind as, oh, let's do these lanes, or let's do a dual off lane, or let's do a tri lane, you know? Like, these ideas don't really sink in until you're like 4 or 5 picks in, and then you're like, ah, this is what we should do, given the circumstance. But Flipside, they're going to get their hands on Alina for the 2nd game in a row. Mania played it pretty well.
Played it, yeah.
Game number 2, yeah. And him and Rise were able to get a lot of kills. I think Shane brought it up during the post-game analysis for game number 2. See if he has the same kind of impact that he did in game number 2.
I mean, with the Magnus and the Jug, is there still scope for this to see that Morphling for a 3rd time tonight? I mean, it wasn't that effective in the 2nd game. Do you think they'll give it a skip this time, or could it work with these heroes so far?
Well, Dazzle has Grave, which can be very good against that combo as well. Because even if you dump everything onto him, there's no guarantee that you'll actually get the kill, right? Because if you get Graved after the adaptive comes out, that means that for the duration of the adaptive, you literally cannot die. So since they have Axe themselves, that's like the only thing that goes through Grave. So you can't chop him, can't kill him. The Morphling pick might not be their go-to here for Game Online. And they don't have a lot of things to synergize with it just yet. Like, they would have to pick Skywrath again if they wanted to do that, you know, because in the last game, they had the Skywrath Morphling combo, and that's what made it good. And in the game prior to that, they had Relocate, which is also what made it good. But again, Wisp has been banned both 2nd and 3rd game from Flipside after getting completely trounced by the Wisp Tiny in game number 1, even granted having a really good laning phase. So here, I'm feeling both teams have some pretty solid lineups. Yeah, I like the Lion pick here from Game Online.
Yeah, very good for dealing with the Axe and protecting the Jug. I assume, yeah.
They needed a hero who could stand back, because right now you have 2 melee against an Axe, and that's not, you don't want that, like, not at all. Because you get one good blink call, and all of a sudden everything is just gonna, it's gonna end badly.
I mean, even things as simple as even something like the RP into Earth Spike, you know, suddenly that is a lot of lockdown for the team.
Yeah, a lot of lockdown, a lot of damage. Talk about that Aghanims finger late game with Magnus. Yeah. You just get that.
Let's see if that would be fun. Let's see if we get to that point. That would be, oh yes. Yeah. A bit of multi-man.
Although I don't know if I've ever seen an Aghanims Lion in a pro game.
I think we did cast a game when he once started to build it.
But he never finished it,
But he never
right?
finished it, yeah. No, we didn't,
Maybe this could be it. Hello, Steve. Sorry, I had to say hi. I spent a lot of time with him at TI4. It was fun. We played games together.
No hi for Zints, or?
Well, I mean, I don't know Zints. I can say hi to him, but it's not like it wouldn't be sincere because I've never met the guy. I'm sure he's great, but I just...
He looks like a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a smile on his face.
Yeah,
He's happy to be there.
I mean, some of these pictures, I mean, they're not happy. I think it was ROG.
Some of them are like
a very
mug
serious
shots.
one, very
wasn't
serious
it
selfie.
PSM or something?
Mind Control has the gangster one.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the one where it just looked like he was pissed to be there. Like, I think it was PSN, right? Like, I'm not just like...
I don't. Maybe we can get it up. Can we get PSM's picture
They
up?
might have it somewhere.
They might be able to bring it up soon.
Rubik, all right.
Rubik, so Rubik Lina, pretty good support combination there, and with the Dazzle as well. I guess it's, well, actually, sorry, I say support combination.
It has to be core Lina.
It's going to be core Lina, and I guess Lina in the mid lane against the Magnus, which would be pretty nice for Flipside.
I haven't seen Baby Knight play Lina, though. He usually plays like SF or Queen, and both of those heroes were banned. Game Online have actually prioritized bans around him. Like, they banned Queen, Zeus, and SF. Like, they would have banned Zeus anyway, I feel, just because they picked Magnus. But, I mean, those are Taylor banned, because he's played all three of those heroes, I think, almost exclusively here at the ASUS ROG DreamLeague.
I mean, yeah, Baby Knight's a very strong player, but he definitely has, I don't want to say a limited hero pool, but there are heroes that he certainly excels at. Well, I guess that's the same for a lot of professional players, but
yeah,
he's going to have to try something a little bit different here, and perhaps something that we're not too used to seeing him play.
Yeah, I think Lina will be the go-to, though.
Yeah.
It's not too difficult. And, all right, a Baden coming out from Game Online as well. Interesting.
Okay, so I mean, what's the thought? Why the Abaddon? What's that going to help? Is it the Lina they just want to kind of protect the burst from the burst damage of?
I guess you can dispel stuns. I mean, that's the one thing that's nice about it, because if you get Yules and the Lina stun comes out, you can just boop, pop out a shield. And it's kind of similar to having a disruption, except a shield will not set up another stun. So say in the second game, when there was a defensive disruption, I can't remember who it was on. I think it was Baby Knight playing the Queen. And there was a lot of time for Zeroji to get in range to fissure.
Yeah, that was right in the mid lane.
So
yeah,
sometimes disruptions can still kill you because you give time for the enemy team to react, like a Lina stun or something like that. But Abaddon will just straight up save you, no matter what. And even though the Shadow Demon has Soul Catcher and Purge, I think you wanted another hero who could be frontline, but at the same time, that's a third melee hero, man. That's a lot of melee against an Axe. I just really am concerned for their capability of, like, their mid game is still going to be strong, but going high ground with a bunch of melee against an Axe is not going to be easy.
Oh, it's interesting to see them draw off this. And the final pick now for Flipside, we're imagining it is, of course, going to still be their farming core. And there we go. So they're going to go with the Medusa. And, well, I mean, I like this already. You've got the Medusa Axe, the call into Stone Gaze, throw in a Dazzle Weave there, and suddenly in the team fights, it's looking pretty scary.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to pick another farmer here and just go super greed from Game Online. They could go 2-1-2, put a bat in something else in the off lane. Like, even heroes like Viper, for example, would be okay. Just a hero who builds mech. Like, if you get mech and you have a Baden with Healing Ward and Mag Blink mid-game, you can just fight all the time, like, non-stop. I wonder if they'll go that route, though, or if they just want another, like, off-laner and just do a safe lane. But I feel like that's a waste. Like, you want a Baden to get EXP. You don't want him to be in a tri-lane. That's just awful.
Okay, well, we'll see if they do indeed heed your warning in terms of going for that dual lane. And with the final pick now, what's it going to be? Ticking down time. They're taking their time. They don't want to be too hasty with this. Down to the final second. It's going to be the TA picked up. So Magnus offlane by the looks of it. TA in the mid lane being played by Excalibur.
Yeah, I like it. It's great against Lina. That's the main matchup I think they wanted to ensure that they won. Because Mag versus Lina, any melee versus that is, it's not great. But this is really good. There's nothing on the side of other Radiant that are going to be able to really break through it immediately. Like, you have Mania with his Poison Touch, does some instance damage, and then you have Battle Hunger.
Is that once a second with that?
I think it is. I think it is once a second, and so is Battle Hunger.
Ah, yes.
So it doesn't really eat the refraction that quickly. It's high physical damage. So like Lina, Rubik, Medusa, Dazzle, they're all very slow. You know, they don't have methods of escape. That means that TA will be able to chase forever, and I think that's part of the reason why they took Abaddon in the first place. So they are going to pick another core, which is what I had imagined. Right, I didn't think they were going to just do like this weird, like tri-lane Lion Abaddon jug. Just doesn't seem that good. So I think they'll probably just end up. Well, Zinz is playing it, so it will be off lane. Could be support as well, I guess, if they wanted to do a 2-1-2. But without, like with the TA going mid, their side lanes become a lot weaker if you don't have a ranged hero to partner with the Abaddon. And I don't think it's going to be a dual melee either, so they probably will just go tri-lane.
Okay, well, we'll see as we get ourselves into this game. Just got a quick pause at the moment, but it is the final game here of this second best of 3 of the day between Flipside and Game Online. Weapus, there was some beautiful camera. What are we actually looking at here, Weapus?
It's the Flipside logo, and then
Oh, this is Medusa.
what appears to be Medusa, yeah. Well, her
see.
tail, right?
A little bit contorted here. That is Medusa coming out of the ground. But yeah, so Dazzle, Axe, Medusa, Lina, Rubik up against the TA, the Jug, the Lion, the Magnus, and the Abaddon. What are your kind of first opening thoughts looking at these drafts?
I think that Game Online have a pretty big advantage late game, no doubt about that. Like TA, Juggernaut with Empower versus just a Medusa. I don't think he'll have the capability of carrying that on his own unless he has a seriously good start. But Flipside do have the potential to snowball their lanes with an Axe.
Yeah,
and like the damage potential from a mid Lina. Like the mid Lina versus a support, you come online obviously much quicker and you're able to get your Yules out, your Aghanims, and you just blow people up.
Okay, well, let's get ourselves in and accustomed with the teams and the players. Zints on the side of Game Online will be on that off-lane. Mag over in the tri-lane. We're going to be having Rocksnack on that position 1 Jug, being supported by ROG on the line and Pelican on the Abaddon. That leaves, of course, Excalibur himself on the mid lane TA. I'm OD Pixel. I'm going to be here, as always, with Draskell. And Draskell, what are we seeing coming out from Flipside?
All right, we got Mania, team captain here on the Dazzle. Going to have the Axe being played by Blan. And then a little bit farther south, we're going to have Baby Knight playing as mid Lina. Going to have Rise playing on Rubik, and then finally Ace. He's going to be playing the Medusa.
Okay, so in terms of the lanes, looking at the mid lane, the whole Lina kind of TA affair, Lina, I guess, is it one of those lanes where both heroes just farm but don't necessarily have the potential to kill each other?
Until the TA hits 6.
Okay.
That's going to be the big X factor. And I think Excalibur will probably hit 6 first, as it's difficult for Lina to outlane a TA if you get levels.
Oh, look at this going in. Pops out the air of refractions to try and fight up against Bland. The damage pretty heavy with the Blade Fury as well. The stun is going to be there. That is going to be your first blood. Light Strike Array does just catch Excalibur, but a little bit too late. And that is, well, in your safe lane. Jug getting the first blood against the off-lane Axe.
Yeah, the rune is not worth dying. Definitely not. Like, not even 1% of the time. And the other thing, too, is since that gives him either Bassi if he wants it, he could even buy a Stout because he's probably going to be tanking creeps because it's an Axe lane. But no, he goes for Boots instead. Okay. I mean, he doesn't have mana right now for another spin, but his supports both have Clarities. And I think they're just going to sit up here and try to stop the Axe from having a good time.
And with a start like that, there'll certainly be the opportunity to do so. And right, yeah, with the boots, as soon as the Blade Fury is available again, they'll be able to give it a shot. Mainly on the Dazzle at level 1. It's did he didn't skill the Shallow Grave, did he? I wouldn't imagine. Is he? No, yeah, he had to skill the Poison Touch there for that first engagement. So they're able to make the jump before level 2. They could certainly look for the potential to kill. But for the time being, Abaddon's just going to pull the lane back. So on the bottom lane, this off-lane Magnus having to deal with both the Medusa and the Rubik. Is there killing potential here, or is the Mag going to be okay?
I think Mag will be fine. The only way he can die is if he gets lifted mid-skewer, which is pretty hard to do because you have to be in a position to where you see him start like the cast animation and catch him as he starts to move. So it's pretty rough, but not going to be the easiest thing to do.
I'm talking about this dual lane, talking about Rise on the Rubik. This is a pretty nice game for the Rubik. Lots of very appetizing spells to take.
Yeah, stealing from the Abaddon, you're pretty much guaranteed to get something nice, unless you steal his ulti, which is, I guess it's kind of useful. You can just run into them and make them attack you or something, but the shield, excuse me, is great. And then Aphotic Coil is also great, or Mist Coil. No, it's Aphotic Shield, Mist Coil. Okay, everything is water-based, by the way, for those of you who don't know the lore of Abaddon. But yeah, there's a lot of nice things. Even stealing TA traps can be great. Just put them everywhere. You just drop them in like the Roshan pit, free wards.
And obviously in the team fights as well, big potentials to steal those big ultimates. I mean, like the RP, and even things like the finger, we should come to see come into play very nicely if Rubik's able to get his hands on them. So last hit wise so far, Medusa farming very well in the safe lane. In the mid lane, TA having a slight edge, of course, against the Lina, 10 for 5 against the 7 for 3 at the moment. Axe, he's finding CS out of this lane, but he's certainly not shutting down the Juggernaut, as if to say, at the moment.
I think that's why they're emphasizing so much having both supports here, as opposed to just one. Because if it was just Lion and Jug, they would probably be creep cutting, because the Lion can't do enough harassment on his own to really stop Bland from feeling confident enough to go between those towers. And Bland, he wants to go in. I think he just dies for this, though. He doesn't even have Crave. Yeah, he's dead. Yeah.
The Blade Fury, and with the boots, he's going to be able to chase down the Axe. And, well, that's your Axe down. They can't look for more because the Earth Spike is still on cooldown. But, again, another kill onto the Axe and going the way of the Jug. This is Jug with 2 kills, 3 minutes in here for the side of Game Online. A very strong start to the safe lane.
I don't know how experienced Flipside are playing Dazzle Axe, but it feels like in no circumstance is poison level 1 ever good, even for a level 1 rune fight. Like, you always want to max grave and max heal if you're just going to be supporting an axe in lane, because you want to stand far enough away to where you can use the grave all the time, and you want to max the heal because it hits more targets, and it makes it so if they ever decide to fight on a creep wave, it deals substantially more DPS. But the lane is definitely going horrendously bad.
I mean, at this point where you're obviously, as the Axe and Dazzle, you're not being able to hinder the farm with the Jug, is it not kind of better to say, right, Dazzle, you stick around for the XP, Axe, head yourself over to the jungle?
If the Axe leaves and starts a jungle right now, he'll probably get a blink at a decent timing, but the whole purpose of this lane was to try to shut down Rocksnack. And if he leaves, that's basically just, you're conceding the lane. You're like, okay, well, we know we can't win anymore. And instead of the Axe leaving, they're just going to have Mania go stack the jungle, which I think is fine, because the Axe can eventually come back and just clear them out.
Yes,
have maybe even Lina do it if you want, or the Dusa. There's like 3 people on the side of Flipside who can do that. But it doesn't feel a great situation for them, like having to lose that lane so hard when it's a lane that I think they picked to win. Like, they wanted that lane to do well.
Ryan coming in with a haste rune, doesn't want to go straight in onto Blan. Yeah, in fact, heading back towards the mid lane. Baby Knight, he's got the backup of Mania here on the Dazzle. He's making the rotations. Excalibur, he's got the dual damage. Goes in for a quick hit, but Dazzle with the poison touch fends the TA back off. I mean, still in the mid lane though, for the side of Gamers Online as well. The fact that TA doing very well against the Lina. The kind of saving grace for Flipside at the moment is the Medusa on the bottom lane is finding a lot of farm and, well, free farm pretty much here.
It's expected. I mean, you're going to free farm your safe lane. And middle lane is the biggest, I think, impact so far, as Baby Knight is a little bit behind on overall experience, but going for the rune Excalibur, they'll probably hit 6 roughly the same time. He'll actually hit 6 off this wave, which does open up the opportunity for a kill if Baby Knight accidentally runs into some traps, and I don't believe Mania has sentries on him. So the normal thing that you do when you play against TA is you buy sentries when you know that the TA is going to hit level 6 soon, to make sure that you can always get rid of all the traps mid, and that takes a lot of pressure off your mid player, because if you're sitting on the hill, then it's very easy for you to walk into like a double trap and then you just die because you can't walk away. But no sentries just yet. See what happens.
Well, the top lane Axe did try and go aggressive here on the top lane, and again, he's got the backup now of the Dazzle, who's returned. And Blan level 4 at the moment, and he's pretty much coming up to the point where he's got enough money for those Tranquils as well, and he does have a Salve and 5 Tangos, so he's got a lot of sustainability, but at the same time, Rocksnack, with those 2 kills and with the farm he's getting, he's top of the net worth board at the moment. FaZe Boots and Bassi, 800 gold on top of him as well, just 6 minutes in, so indeed looking very good here for the Jug. I mean, as we get to the mid game, well, talking about mid, look at the mid lane. Baby Knight getting chased down by Excalibur, but there will be the Light Strike array there to stop TA from committing any further. Blam, he's going in, maybe going to look for a call. I mean, he could, but Zeroji's got mana to turn this one around, and maybe that's what they're waiting for. Blade Fury from Rocksnack doing a bit of damage here onto Blan. They've got the Hex, they've got enough for the Earth Spike as well. But Rocksnack going to back out, just a little bit scared of the spins, and well, they're bad, and he says, come on, mate, why aren't we fighting the Axe? And that is exactly why, because the spin there takes down the Abaddon.
A little over-aggressive there from Pelican. That was, yeah, not advisable to walk into melee range of an Axe. He's taking some creeps, but I'm sure.
I might go for the line here as well with the boosted movement speed and the poison touch slow. They can get in range. Has he got enough mana for cool? Yes, he does. And suddenly the Axe Dazzle coming online. Aphotic Shield going to buy some time for Zeroji. Will allow him to get away. Blan has not got enough mana for another Battle Hunger. Now Rocksnack, he's chasing down Mania. Does have the Shallow Grave. He's going to use it, but I don't think it's going to really do too much for him, as there's nothing else really to help him out here. And Rocksnack does a bit of a dozy-do and then finishes him off with a quick slash to the backside. 3-1. Rocksnack now with 3 kills under his belt on a killing spree. 7 minutes in. Baby Knight coming in, looks for the Light Strike array, but Juggernaut is going to play it safe and head back. What they're talking about, play it safe. Axe is pretty far up the lane. Juggernaut coming in. Blan, let's be careful, and he will be careful. Does back up now as both the Abaddon and Jug return to lane.
I think if they had waited like a tiny bit longer to engage for Game Online, that Rocksnack could have potentially been 6, and that means that he just kills both of them because he has Omni, and then you can just bait out the Grave in the first place and just Omni and get 2 kills. It's pretty easy, but nice. Flipside recognizing that they could go for some aggressive plays here.
Well, they do manage to get the Telekinesis and the Snake onto Magnus, doing a fair bit of damage. Looking for the stacks here on the Ancients. He's going to be able to stack them again.
I think he has to kill it now. I don't think he can stack it again. He'll probably realize it when he goes over here.
Dire's middle tower is under
Excalibur's with his farm certainly looking very good. I mean, he's 1,000 behind his mate, the Jug, but that's because the Jug's found himself 3 kills, 8 minutes in.
Dire's bottom
Excalibur
tower
going to do his
is
best.
Steve, please, why are you tanking them? Just run them back. He's taking like so much needless damage from doing this. There we go. Now he's doing it.
Jaskal there with the criticism onto Steve.
Wagga
Come on,
would
give
not
Steve a
be
break.
pleased if he saw you doing that, I'm just saying.
He's getting the job done, slowly but surely here at the Ancients. I mean, Excalibur, what's he got at the moment? 1,300, so I guess going for that kind of patented Wagga phase into Blink build, I'd imagine.
A lot of people have been doing that nowadays. I still think that the Yasha build and drums has its place, but for being able to secure the quick kills when you're already going to get other Blink buyers on your team like Mag, the Blink synergy is too good to pass up. Like just being able to go in and just boom, blow somebody up right away. That's what you want.
At the moment, still finding a fair few levels here in the jungle, the Rubik, with these pulls. I mean, he is about to hit level 6. The Magnus, how's his progress looking towards that Blink dagger? He's not found that much farm on the offlane. He's got the arcane boots. It's 200 gold as well. He's going to be able to start the climb towards the Blink himself, but it isn't going to be the quickest of timings. But you don't really come to expect that anyway from the off-lane Mag. And Rocksnack now heading into the jungle to back up and farm. And Medusa, going to go for the Mask of Madness.
It's really nice for clearing out the jungle when you're not really being contested at all. You just put like 2 or 3 points in a split shot, you get your phase, Mask of Madness, you buy your Aquila, which he does have enough money for now as he completes it at the side shot. And you can kill a tier 1 even, and then just go for a jungle farm. And there are, I think there was a stack, I think somebody took it. Yeah, somebody just killed it. And then after that, the sky is the limit, just farm.
How's Axe doing on his way to the Blink? If you have a look at the Axe on the side of Flipside, he's doing pretty well. 1,800 gold on this Axe, so he's going to have the Blink fairly shortly.
It's not too bad, but he doesn't have Tranquils. So without Tranquils, it's kind of hard to stay out on the map for an extended period of time. He might actually buy like a bottle or something, or finish his Tranquils. Oh, Steve.
Excalibur getting caught out by Light Strike Array. We'll be able to get the refraction. He's got the double shield here with the Aphotic as well. Very pretty. Going straight in on Baby Knight. There will be the Light Strike Array to hold TA back. And that's going to be enough for Baby Knight to keep his distance. And just turns around with a Fiery Dragon Slave. No one going to die here in the mid lane today.
Got caught with that refraction on. That's not...
Top lane. Oh, cool onto ROG, and there's about 1 million creeps hitting away at Bland. The spins will be there. And Dazzle actually picking up that kill with the heal bomb. 2 to 3 now on the board. It's arguably the closest start of the series that we've seen so far between these two sides. First game, of course, Gamers Online looking pretty good. Flipside, no, it was Flipside actually looking pretty good at the start of both games. But this game, it's a bit more even.
Flipside still have an advantage, though.
Yeah.
Like, inherently, the late game Dusa with Dazzle combination is pretty scary. TA, Jug, Mag is also relatively tough to deal with. And okay, he wants to go back in, but he only has level 1 Skewer. Can't go really that far with it. But considering the way the lanes have been going, like, Baby Knight is ahead in farm, which is unexpected given the circumstance, but I don't actually remember who took the sack. So it could have been him taking it. Yeah. Looks like Webos is pointing to him like, it was him, you dummy. He took it. He wanted to get his Yule, so he killed the stack. Thank you, Webos.
Excalibur with his Blink Dagger heads down towards the bottom lane, has the backup of the Lion and the Magnus looking for some action. Rise is going to TP himself top to look for some reverse action onto Rocksnack, who's still farming in the jungle. Phase boost, Mask of Madness, and the Blade of Alacrity. And, well, here we go. Trying to close in onto Ace, but he gets the Stone Gaze off before the RP, so it will catch, in fact, all 3 of them. So Ace is fine. Someone's going to TP in to help him. He might even get this kill. He's got enough mana for the Snake as well. He's looking for the Snake. Has he got enough mana? Let's have a look. Weapons has he got? Yes, he does have enough mana. Doesn't manage to cast it off, though. And won't find a kill here.
Still great that he lived. Like, they used an RP for that, and they didn't get it off in time. So the Stone Gaze just totally counteracting that gank. But he could die here.
Well, they're diving in. Excalibur with the movement speed here. Pretty hasty, but at the same time, Ace with his own Mask of Madness. He's going to zip out. There's been a TP into the bottom lane by Baby Knight on the Lina. The slow will only... did they even catch him? Yeah, it did, but it's not a great slow. Oh, the mana shield helping him out there. Bland blinks forward, but a fantastic Hex there. Spike as well controlling the Axe, but the Light Strike Array onto Excalibur has the call to bring him out of Meld. The mana starting to get soaked, but Bland doesn't matter. All he needs is his spins, and he's going to find some of them. Excalibur getting fairly low. Light Strike Array. Do they have the burst damage? Omni Slash coming in at the right time. Kills Lina, protecting up Excalibur. Finger from Zeroji says, get your hands off my TA. Dominating streak here for the Juggernaut, and Excalibur keeps his life.
Unfortunate that they had no dust or sentries or anything. The Rubik had some, but unfortunately was not in the area, so Rai is unable to ensure that kill because he didn't have any mana to pop another refraction. And what an amazing play by the Lion. Like, Zeroji already made up for his last game shaker, I think, just from that play alone.
Absolutely making stuff happen. Rubik has stolen Omni Slash, so Magnus, you need to be careful here. Rubik has got the Omni Slash available. He's looking for it, but the jukes are real, and well, Magnus says, oh, my goodness, we need to get ourselves out of it. He's got Omni Slash. Rise may still look to go for it. There's your telekinesis into Omni Slash. It's not enough damage though, even with the Fable, but the Snake will secure the kill. And a very good use there at the Omni Slash.
A very good thing that he even got the Omni Slash.
Blinks in the mid lane. He gets caught by an Earth Spike. They've already lost the Dazzle. There will be the Yules from Lina to control the TA. Light Strike Array as well, but with the Aphotic Shield and the Refraction, you're not doing any damage here to Excalibur. He gets the slow onto Bland. Meld Strike focused onto Baby Knight. Suddenly 2/3 of his health bar deleted. Baby Knight thinking to go back in. Oh, there with the Laguna Blade onto the man who's a bit of a fan of fingering himself. Lying down for 30 seconds.
Level 2 Laguna hurts. Just FYI, for those who were curious, as showcased by poor Zeroji just exploding into 1,000 pieces by getting hit. I even thought that he was going to live. He's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. Zap. Just kidding. And I think it was about barely enough damage to kill. I think it does like 507 damage, I think, after magic reduction. Like level 1 finger does 450. It's just small things that you want to remember. It's like, oh, I'm in kill range. And then you get zapped, and you can just realize it beforehand. But still, wait, the Shark's going Shadow Blade.
Okay, what's up with that, Draskell?
I guess they just want to apply pressure because getting the tier 1s shouldn't be that hard.
Did Rubik just restole Omni Slash because Joke hasn't cast anything else since it was stolen the first time?
All right, Rocksnack, we're going to have some words after this game. Well, like, just drop the level 1 healing word or spin or something.
Mid lane, Light Strike Array, they've got the Blink follow-up with the Bland call, and it will catch the ROG. Laguna Blade onto Excalibur, but he's still alive, and he might be able to turn this one around. No, he doesn't have the refraction to cast, as the right click comes through from Baby Knight. They will be able to find the TA. Now Ace going up to the high ground, but yeah, let's Omni Slash, I mean, not the easiest spell to steal, but stealing it twice after it's been cast once, I mean...
You should actually never steal it, because the way that you do it is you Omni and then you immediately spin after the Omni. Like, you're just slamming on Q. It's like spin, spin, spin. Because as soon as you come out, spin is instantaneous. So there's almost a 0% chance to steal it. The thing that's most commonly stolen is spin or healing word.
He's in, sure, a little bit far into enemy territory there. He gets called by the axe, will skewer away. He's trying to TP out, but there's a telekinesis to kill you. And
oh, his Omni was down. I was going to say, you should have Omni'd him for style points, but Mania with the heal bomb, dealing a ton of damage. It's max level Shadow Wave, by the way.
Mid lane, what's going on? We see Lina.
He's got Finger.
Getting caught out a little bit. He indeed does have Finger. Not going to pop it because it's not going to be quite enough damage. Maybe turn around. Laguna Blade is available for Baby Knight, but Baby Knight goes down to the meld. There's Rise with the Omni Slash. Excalibur getting low. Poison touch onto him as well. Might be able to take him out. Hasn't got the mana. Sorry, the cooldown for Refraction. The missed coil there from the Abandon, giving him some health. Won't be able to protect the Zeroji though on the Lion, as he's already helped out the TA. So it will be a 1-for-2 trade there. Bland blinking forward, but the blink just in time from Excalibur, getting himself out of the range of the call. Now, pushing onto the tower here, Ace and Mania. Mania does have the ult available with the Weave if they want to try and initiate, and there we go. They're going to defensively do the armor, so it's going to be very hard here for the side of Game Online to stop this push. Medusa and Dazzle sticking onto the high ground. Rockstat, he's pretty speedy, grabs himself a bounty rune. He's going to come back into the mid lane, does have the Omni Slash available. RP is also up for the Magnus. Magnus, how's he doing on the road to the Blink Dagger? 1100 gold, looking for some farm in the jungle, so it isn't going to be the quickest Blink, but as always, with a Magnus in the game, when the Blink Dagger comes online, there's definitely the potential for Game Online to have a massive team fight swing.
All they need is that RP, and Rocksnack, he's going to find himself a free Medusa inside of the woods.
Yep, use the Shadow Blade there.
The Shadow Blade, yeah, he bought it, immediately gets a kill. Already has pretty much paid for itself just finding that particular hero. And it's not often you find those Shadow Blade ganks prior to tier 1s dying, because it's very hard to get across the river without having sentries down, you know, because it's 17 minutes in.
You know what he didn't do after doing Omni Slash?
Cast another ability.
It didn't cast
If he gets stolen the third time, I swear to God, I'm just going to be like... You can't actually give away 3 Omnis before 20 minutes.
There we go. He pops down the healing ward. It's not going to happen today. And they will go for Roshan here, and with Excalibur on the TA and Rocksnack on the jug. They'll be able to do it fairly quickly. No Medusa, so it's going to be half a flip side to try and compete and contest. They do have the call, but already Roshan goes down. Aegis now on the TA. And Rocksnack heading straight into the jungle here, seeing if he can find anyone. They do not have any dive vision, though, in the Radiant jungle. Well, the Radiant themselves, they're going to back out.
Well, all things considered, I think Game Online are doing a lot better than we had expected given the early game. The offlane Axe, he kind of didn't have a great start, but he started to recover a little bit And I think Game Online, their lineup is about to come into its own, like you mentioned, when that Magnus finally gets his blink. He's only about 500 away. And once he gets it, it's just, can I find the opening? You know, if I get one good, like 1 or 2 hero RP, it's going to be an immediately won engagement. There's no doubt about it. And since he's got almost level 4 in power too, it's level 3 right now, he'll be able to boost the damage of the Juggernaut by a heck of a lot. And they're playing it a lot differently than basically Unknown, because normally that mag would just be following Vroxnak around and just spamming in power because he has Quelling Blade and Mask of Madness to just farm really quickly. But he's kind of just been on his own. Like, he hasn't been prioritizing helping the Juggernaut farm at all.
Baby Knight here with the Invis-Rune, looking for the wrap around. Pelican on the about him fairly far out. There's the backup as well in the form of the Axe and Dazzle, both smoked up in the dire jungle. Maybe able to make a jump on anyone. Here he goes. He's ready to go in. Sees the ROG. Ping's coming out on the line. Lina leading the way. Still's got a few seconds of the Invis left. He's going to back out. Doesn't really want to go on to the Abaddon there. It's going to be kind of hard. Maybe not with the burst damage from Laguna Blade to go past the ult. Well, bottom lane, talking about ultimates. Vroxnak
Can't steal that, Omni.
Yeah, you can't steal if you're dead. Punishing the Rubik there. Top lane, Bland skipping has the rest of the side of Flipside, pushing in onto the tier 2. Excalibur blinking forward, goes for a meld hit. Weave gets thrown down. Elmer's going to start to tick up Magnus. Has he got the blink now on him after backing up to base? Yes, there we go. So now the blink dagger is on its way to the Magnus. And the only RP I believe we have seen was that failed one onto the stone-gazed Medusa on the bottom lane. So perhaps now...
Well, he did land it.
He did land it.
But it was a fail in the sense that it was too late. Yeah, I know what you mean. Just for all those people at home who are like, did he miss an RP? What's going on? No, it's fine. He didn't miss. It just wasn't great.
Top lane. Pelican pops down the wards. He's going to see the old Dazzle walk by. Vroxnak continues to farm very well. He's top of the net worth, 11.5k gold on him at the moment. Yasha, Shadowblade, 2.8k on top of that as well. We see on the bottom lane in the Radiant Jungle, Magnus and Lion both smoked up. I mean, with the RP in the finger, there's definitely the potential to pretty much kill most heroes on the map at the moment. Maybe not the Medusa. Axe is going to be a little bit tanky as well, but if they get an RP onto 2 here, which they certainly will, in comes the side blades as well between the two of them. Bland gets stunned up. There's your finger on to Rise. Very nice fight there from Game Online.
ROG stepped up his game, definitely, from before. They're going to find Mania as well. It's going to be 3 kills. Oh, Grave. TP. He has Skewer. Okay, we're good. All is well.
Wicked 6th streak now for Vroxnak. They're going to be able to get the tier 1 here in the mid lane. I mean, we were talking about the map getting the blink and making the impact, and I mean, that's the way to open it up with.
Yeah, and the cool thing about TA is that side blades are fantastic with RP, because you can just hit everyone. The beginning hit, I think he actually kind of messed up, because he blinked to the side, and he thought they were going to stack in a different way when they got RP, but they got pulled together, and he was like perpendicular to the way the heroes were lined up, so it could have been a little bit cleaner, I guess, but all things considered, ROG had their back. Got the 2 kills straight up, and then he even found Mania afterwards, and that's Desolator for Excalibur.
Yeah, some big items coming out. You've got your Blink now on the line, you've got your Manta Star now on Vroxnak, and indeed, as you said, the Desolator now on Excalibur. So some very, very nice pickups here for the Dire side. Medusa, how's she doing in terms of farm? She's got 10k. What's she been able to pick up? She's still working on the Manta Star. In fact, no, just the...
No, I think she goes Scotty.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Just casual Yasha?
Manta does nothing against that team. You got Empowered Juggernaut and a Magnus, like Lion stuns. There's so many ways to kill illusions. You don't want to buy that.
Top lane, pushing down here onto the tier 1, and they're going to be able to get it easily now with Excalibur's Desolator. And maybe they look to fight for more. Magnus, of course, the RP's still on cooldown. How long have we got to wait until it's back and available? Let's have a look. Weapons, 20 seconds. Fantastic. So 20 seconds until the RP's back online. Excalibur leading the way onto the tower. Can Flipside look to initiate this? They do have, of course, the Blink Call. It's a very nice initiation tactic, but they don't have the Medusa. Medusa's just farming at the moment, focusing on the farm, letting the rest of her team deal with these pushes. Not getting himself out of the top lane. It's, the top tier 2 does fall down. Only the tier 2 remaining for the side of the Radiant on the bottom lane at this point. 22 minutes into the game. If we have a look at the overall net worth between the two sides as well, what are we looking at? Well, flip side, they did have a bit of control all the way up to about the 16-minute mark, and then over the last 6 or so minutes, it zipped straight down over to the favor of the Dire sides, with Game Online having over about 5k lead in terms of net worth and XP.
It's going to get increasingly scary for Flipside if you keep letting this game go on, especially with the next Roshan spawning too. That kind of momentum swing can be really tough to overcome, even with having a Dusa who has a decent amount of farm. and he's not carrying a second ultimate orb. If you're going to smoke and go for a kill, you want every single advantage you can get. And Ace needs to send out his item here.
Ooh, here we go, boys. We're going to have a little bit of a smoky woo down the mid lane. Blan, he's ready to blink in onto someone. They are going to spot out. No, they're not. He's got a Shadow Blade. They're not going to spot out Rocksnack. Shadow Blades himself right into the Radiant jungle. Baby Knight positioning himself around the Ancients. Abaddon is there. There's some defensive pings coming out because, yeah, the smoke has been dispelled here by the Abaddon. So they won't be able to find anyone here at this point. How long till Roshan's up? Still a few minutes. Roshan's not going to be up as of yet. They just grabbed themselves an Illusion Rune. There's going to be a smoke up from the side of Game Online now in return there. They know it's an illusion, doesn't dispel the smoke. They are going to be spooked by that. They continue on, press on forwards. They do have all the ultimates available. Magnus RP's up. This could be a massive RP. Oh my goodness. Roxanne goes straight in with the Omni Slash though. Will find the kill onto Rubik. There's a ROG there with the stun onto Lina. Wow. They're also finishing off the Dazzle. Double kill here for the Juggernaut. The Trap Slow will catch Ace. Can they chase this down? Roxnack, he's pretty down speedy. Skewer 4 by Zin. He does still have the Blink RP combo if he wants to try and land it onto the Medusa. Medusa, just going to be a little bit too fast. In fact, I think they went the wrong way. They thought she'd gone south. She headed north. Medusa will be able to get herself out, but 3 heroes down here on the side of Flipside.
Nice juke, and Mag thought about RPing there, realized his team wasn't there to back him up. Would have been like no chance for a kill, but maybe stopping the TP would have been worth it, because then they would have been able to just go high ground. Now they have to fight into Dusa. I don't know, it's a small thing, I guess. I don't think they care too much. And worst case scenario, they just fall back and get Roshan when it spawns.
Blink 4 from Bland tries to look for a call onto Excalibur, but isn't quite going to find the initiation. 24.5 minutes in, 8-16. Definitely Flipside being on the back foot. But I mean, with heroes like the Dazzle and the Medusa, you have got pretty damn good high ground defense.
Yeah, definitely. Their team is great in close quarters. As long as the Stone Gaze is there, that's the biggest thing that they have to worry about. Like Bland's call, obviously important. Making sure your Lina lands a good combo. She does have level 2 Aghanim's ulti, so it does a lot of damage. But you need the Stone Gaze to stop Game Online from just running all over you.
I think Medusa has got the Skadi finish now, 25 minutes into that. That's going to be a massive addition to the team fight.
Yeah, the damage output, though, is not there yet, because Stone Gaze, it stops everyone from attacking you, but you're really the only source of physical damage right now besides the Axe. You know, like Helix and stuff still hits, but how are you going to Helix if everybody's frozen, right? I don't know. I think it's still going to be tough. They need more right-click damage. He can't go any more defensive items. He needs to go like MKB or Crit or something. Like, he just needs to hit hard.
Okay, Roshan's going to be back in 2.5 minutes. Having a look at the Jugs farm, 16.5k. What's he picked up recently? He's going for the Ogre. No, sorry, no, that was someone else. Was it the Ogre Club in his stash? It was on the courier? No, it's just no, it's for the
it's getting a Scotty.
Sorry, it's BKB for Excalibur. Yeah, BKB for Excalibur, and yeah, this Jug himself going to go for that Skadi, which I think he's got, hasn't he? So Ultimate Orb on him. As he's just saving up for the final Ultimate Orb. Sorry, rappers, back and forward. Yeah, he's just waiting for that final Ultimate Orb, which he's very, very close to, so less than 100 gold away from. So Skadi going to come online pretty much at the same time as Ace. And we've got the 4-star on the Magnus as well, so that extra route of initiation.
They're getting a lot more teamfight utility items now for Gaming Online. Is it Game Online or Gaming Online? It's Game Online.
Game Online.
I didn't want to be calling them the wrong thing, but Roxnack continues to farm like a beast. 26 minutes in, Skadi, Manta, Shadowblade, Mask of Madness phase. Pretty good. Pretty darn good. And he's 9-0. He's not really sharing too many kills with his team, so I'd say he's a bit of a greedy player. You know, only 2 assists. But it's fine. You know, he's doing what he needs to do. I think it's going to be pretty far-fetched Flipside winning a fight outside of their base. Like, they need to fight by tier 3, so it's just no way.
It's going to be a tough one. Roxnack, Shadowblade's up. He's ready to go in. He's ready to look for the Omni Slash initiation. He wants to be the front man of this team. And he's going to head to the mid lane. They do spot out this, the Medusa aggressively farming on her own in the jungle here with this Dire Ward. She's very, very speedy, and Baby Knight's already found someone. He's found Excalibur, but Excalibur pops the BKB straight away. They pop down the weave, though, the side of the Radiant. In comes your Omni Slash onto the Stone Gaze Medusa, and will bring the Medusa down. Very nice. Blanc goes in with the call. Laguna Blade onto Pelican, but Pelican, he's the Abaddon. He's just going to heal himself back up. Bland's been shallow great, but it doesn't matter. He's going to go down to the Jug. Double kill here for the Juggernaut. Desolate hit, flies around the corner. Not enough with the armor. 5 HP for Baby Knight. The slow there from the trap. He tries to TP out, but the Shockwave will find him. Triple kill for Vroxnack on the Jug. Jug as he's able to finish off the Dazzle as well. 4 heroes down here on the side of Flipside. 20-8 game online. They lose nothing. A massive XP increase as well. 5.6k and a gold swing of about 3.7. They're ready to go for the high ground, ready to break the base. The only hero with buyback on the side of Flipside is the Medusa. Lina, Axe, and Dazzle. They've got to wait until they're naturally back. Fortification will come out, but it looks like Flipside may lose Rax and may lose even more here.
They might lose 2 sets, because right now Excalibur is just sitting up top hitting the tower right now, so the rest of his team's going to get the melee probably, and then just walk over. Or are they going to go for range too? Okay, Rock's not going for double, instead of just trying to get the tier 3, and they just go the non-greedy route and just try to back up a tiny bit. Roshan's alive, so there's no reason for them to go for double racks. They could just go kill Rosh for free, and there's nothing that Flipside are going to be able to do about that. If Bland had been a little bit closer to where Ace was, and he kind of split the Omni with him when he got hexed and such, he took a lot of damage to die. So if that Stone Gaze had frozen them and Bland had split the damage, they might have potentially been able to turn that in some like decent way.
The Stone Gaze did catch about 4.
Yeah, it hit like everyone pretty much, because they were all committing to try to get the kill. And Vrocksnack, I think, was the one who has the least chance of getting frozen, because while you're Omni'd, you're immune, so you can't be frozen anyway. But yeah, it was close.
Grabs the Aegis. I mean, do the Radiant really want to fight into this? The pings are coming out. Are they going to go to the high ground? No. Game is online. Game online. Sorry, you've got me doing it now. They back up. They don't want to fight here into this situation. And still, young Steve here on the Excalibur on the TA. 2.7k gold. He's getting richer and richer. 20k net worth on the Jug. They're going to smite. They want to go. And they are going to be able to use up the Jug, but the Jug, and the Jug isn't the one with the Aegis. They're going to be able to find the call. Laguna Blade as well onto Vrocksnack. And obviously with the Agnums going through the magic of music. Stone Gaze now from Ace. Is this going to be enough though? The damage is there. RP onto 3. Blank goes down. They've lost the Dazzle. They've lost the Rubik. They've lost Ace. They've lost all hope. They might even lose Baby Knight. Yes, they will. GG is called. There's no coming back from that. 25-8 game online. After a rocky game 2, they proved that they do have the capability to take the series. They absolutely wiped the floor in the 3rd game, and it's just too much for Flipside. What? I mean, was it the draft here, or was it just the decisions? What went wrong, Andy?
No, it wasn't the draft. I think the last fight was a last-ditch effort to just say, okay, let's try to make something happen, but they fought into the worst scenario. So they go into that fight fighting into an Aegis TA. They catch the hero without it, so they get their hopes up like, oh, we can maybe get this kill. But using the Juggernaut is actually like the worst way to start the initiation, because he can just spin when he hits the ground. Like, what are you going to do to him? If you call him, you don't have any right-click damage, because your Medusa doesn't have any damage items. You have a Yasha, a Mask of Madness, and a Scotty. You can farm quickly, but do you actually kill anybody in a fight? He just didn't have enough time to accrue the items that he needed to be able to turn it. So I think that the draft for Game Online, they had an opportunity to win, but it was through base defense, not smoking across the map and trying to contest Roshan. Like, I get why you want to do that, but I still feel like their best opportunity is just having mass buybacks and just defending with Dusa. But hey, maybe they felt like they didn't have a late game chance because of how far ahead Game Online were with their farm. Like that Juggernaut had 730 GPM, something like that, 13-0.
It's pretty crazy. 13. I mean, this was the Juggernaut as well, who gave away Omni Slash twice in the first 8
with the
minutes.
same Omni Slash cast, by the way. 2 steals of the same Omni Slash.
I mean, it was just part of...
You were just baiting them.
Yeah, he was trying to psych out the Rubik into thinking, wow, this guy's a bit of a scrub.
I don't know. That was
13
crazy.
for 0. Vrocksnack on the Jug. Pretty legit play. And, I mean, Game Online, in the Game 1 and Game 3, they're very strong players. Just Game 2 was a little bit of a... I think they'll try to forget about that one, because the play just...
Their laning phase is not strong. That's definitely their weakness.
Well, what do you think their strength is as a team?
I think their teamfight coordination is really good. Like when everyone's on point. So say this game's a ROG, he played great, but in the second game, he played like the least impactful Shaker I've ever seen. So he's incredibly inconsistent from what I've seen of this series, at least, because this is the first time I ever watched him play. So when he's on his game, he's fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
But when he plays Shaker, apparently, it's not great.
Not great at all, but... Well, that's it, Andy. That is us done and dusted for today. That is the entirety of the quarterfinals done, I believe. We'll be back tomorrow with the both semi-finals between, well, I'm not too sure, but the panel, I'm sure they'll explain to you the brackets and tell you what kind of games we can expect to see over the next coming days. But yeah, that's it for the second series. The series is taken by Game Online, who do, of course, knock out Flipside Tactics. We'll see you guys about tomorrow, but for now, over to our commercials and panel. Actually, no, wait. We're not going to run any commercials. We're going to save you from that. No need to install that block. We'll see you guys in a bit.